Hey, welcome back to Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan on this Saturday morning. Really appreciate your time tuning in to our radio show. Just so you know, guys, this month we're going to be broadcasting on all the stuff like iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Maybe we're a legit company. Weird. A couple years in, just locking and loading on a daily basis. And we're talking with Setema Gali. You can get to Setema's information if you're interested in getting coached by one of the best coaches on the planet. Setema Gali, Setemagali. Is that right, Setema?
Yep, .com.
Hey, I started. See, I had a limiting belief right there. I was second guessing myself. .com. So look him up. You know, and you're talking about developing habits or crushing bad habits. When someone if they're listening to this and they're starting to think, and I think the first thing is right to be honest with yourself and don't look in the mirror and just lie to yourself, because it's a game you're going to lose. You can lie to a lot of people and maybe get away with it if you got that silver tongue, but at the end of the day, it's very difficult to look upstairs and lie or look in the mirror and lie, because you kind of know yourself when you are BSing yourself. But to your point, some people don't know what they don't know because they've developed these habits that have these massive blind spots. And I think those blind spots, from my experience, are reinforced in many cases by the people that love them. You know, they're saying, well, you shouldn't do that. That's too risky. It's okay. You're big boned. It's fine. We've always been blue collar. Whatever crazy line that they want to listen to get themselves through the day while they're eating bonbons and watching the old Tiger King. I don't know if that's a thing anymore, but what would you say to somebody, Setema, if you were coaching them and they started having a little bit of an awakening and they were like, okay, I'm going to call you and now I'm going to start telling you all my reasons. How do you break somebody of that and get them launched into a different direction as a coach?
Yeah, one of the greatest questions you can ask is, well, listen, what is your current reality today? And I just take them through, like, what's the current reality? And they might say, well, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, well, let's just go through the big four: physical, spiritual, relational, financial. What's current reality? How much do you weigh? How do your clothes fit? How's your energy level? How often do you work out? How's your endurance and stamina? Do you like seeing yourself? Are you proud to go see people you haven't seen in 5, 10, 20 years? Okay. Spiritually, what's your current reality? And what's your baseline? What are your spiritual disciplines? Whether they're spiritual, religious, totally up to the person. Are you grounded? Do you feel peace? Do you have gratitude and happiness? Do you feel connected to God, to your faith, to higher purpose? Or are you just going through the motions? What's your current reality with your relationships, your marriage, right? How often do you have sex? Is your intimacy great? Is it awesome and connected? Are you close with your children? Do you vacation regularly with your spouse, just you and your spouse? Do you take your family on vacations? Do you invest time? Do you read with your children? Do you whatever? Like, what is the current reality? And then, of course, money. Do you have a 6 to 12 months rainy day fund? Do you have money coming in from multiple sources? Do you budget? Do you have marketing and sales down? Like, if something happens to you tomorrow, can your family sustain? If COVID happens again, how long can you go without having to freak out? Or are you 1 or 2 paychecks away? Do you love your job? Do you love the work you're involved with? I start there and I say, look, let's just be real. And principle 1 in the 13 principles is the truth will set you free. So I tell people, look, don't lie. Like, don't lie. Don't lie to me. Don't tell it how it really is. Not better than it is, not worse than it is. Just what's reality. And then from there, I would just ask a person, okay, now let's just be really honest here. What do you want for your life? And again, there's so many questions you can ask, right? What's the kind of money you want to bring? How do you want to travel? What kind of contributions do you want to make? How do you want to look and feel every single day? How do you want to feel 10 years from now? What will you be doing 5 years from now? Is there a project you want to do? Is there a passion project, a book, a podcast? Is there a place you want to visit? How do you feel about your marriage right now? Are you deeply in love? How do you want that relationship with your children to be? Again, I've got a 13, a 10, and an 8-year-old. I'm clear, so crystal clear about what I want with my family, with the relationship with my sons, with my business, with my life, with my legacy. And principle 4 is clarity is power. So when I start to coach someone, we get really clear about where they are. And then we get really clear, like truth, brutal truths, transparency and honesty about what they want. And then now that we've distinguished, right, where they are and where they want to go, we can go do work. And then, if they've got reasons and excuses, look, I just don't tolerate that in a conversation. I'm just like, look, if you want to sit here and tell me all the reasons, look, go hire a therapist or a psychiatrist. Go find misery, because misery loves company, but so does greatness and excellence. And people who have big dreams, right? It's called the big, hairy, audacious goal, big goals, dreams. They typically aren't going to spend their energy wasted on why they can't. They're focused on, like, how can I make this happen? How can I go build a life that I love, whether it's a job or a project or a location to live in or doing a work that you feel strongly called to? And so that's where I would go. It's like, where are you? What do you want?
Now,
coaching. Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
When someone calls you up and they have the best of intentions and you break them down, I mean, many of us need to be broke down before we can build ourselves back up. And being self-confident enough to even make that call to you, knowing you're not going to take the BS of the excuses and the limiting beliefs and the scarcity mindset. When you tear somebody down, do you typically see any, I don't know, consistency in behavior as people go through certain phases? Because I can imagine there's a lot of people right now that have been furloughed, that have maybe lost their business or about to. They're kind of unsure about what to do, and they're blaming one side of the political aisle or the other side of the political aisle or whatever excuse they have. But when you see somebody trying, and, you know, let's use coaching, for example. I coached my kids when they were little in football and basketball and all that as well. It was one of the greatest times of my life, by the way. And I listened to one of your podcasts, and you talked about something that I really want to touch on, and that is, what do you do to those people that in their heart of hearts you can see that they want to, but they just don't know how? And they're hurt. When you start hammering on them, they get hurt.
Yeah. So there's a lot of work in coaching, right? I don't just come drop a hammer on someone. Mm-hmm. It's like there's a lot of preparation. There's a lot of preparatory work, right? A lot of like just really getting someone ready. And look, when people work with me, the main prerequisite is you got to be committed. Highly committed means highly committed. Highly committed doesn't mean which. Highly committed doesn't mean excited. Highly committed means they're going to do whatever is necessary and required. They will alter their behaviors to match and be consistent with the results they want. So look, coaching is a beautiful process. And everyone that I coach right now, I've got business owners, entrepreneurs. I got guys producing 9 figures in their organizations and in their revenues. I've got people who are just starting out. I have people who, again, every type of industry across the board. And yeah, I'm not paid to be their friend, and I'm not paid to be their buddy. So that's the last thing that's going to happen is they're going to like me. Now, they will probably not like me for quite some time, but they will absolutely love what happens to their sight because I help people to see clearly the truth. That's coaching, is getting people to see what they cannot see or fathom, getting people to feel something that they have not felt or never felt before, getting people to just see what's possible. Once people see the real possibility, once people really see, like, again, someone with limiting belief, there's no way that's possible. And my clients, when I say, hey, let me ask you a question, what's possible? There's one word every time: everything. Everything and anything is possible. I don't care if it has to do with more money, more time, greater health, greater fitness, greater connection to your children or to God or your faith, right? Better habits. I mean, people that I work with, they're just happier. They're producing greater results. And results, again, money, fitness, health, spirituality, connection, right? No, everything. And that's how it's done, my friend. Like, it's this beautiful process.
Right on, man. When we come back, we're going to be going into our third segment. I'm talking with Setema Gali. You can get a hold of Setema. You can go to his website, SetemaGali.com. SetemaGali.com. One of the best coaches, Super Bowl champion, been up, been down. Most importantly, he's full of fire, and he's going to help change your life. Appreciate it, Setema. We'll be right back on the Home Sweet Home with Russ McClellan Show and Setema Gali in just a few minutes.
Home sweet home. Thanks, Keller Williams. I love my dream home.